This panel right now is probably one of the most important in the modern music age, which is the internet, okay? Exactly how important is it to your music career? Well, frankly, it's crucial. As anybody who had to deal with the Facebook and Twitter down time this week probably realized that all of a sudden you couldn't do anything. So anyway, I'm going to introduce the panel now. These are people that I think are pretty well known throughout the city. They've been, most of them have been involved with San Diego music and area music for quite a while. We'll start out here on this side here with David Brown from Holiday Matinee and many, many other things over the years. A great guy.
You're too kind. Thank you.
To his left is Rob Marlborough from webwizards.net and downtownrob.com. To his left is Paul Josephson from eventful.com. Next to him is the panel's moderator, Matt Diablo from 91X and Slacker.com. To his left is Chris Cantori, very well-known name in this town, who's been working with street scene and national artists lately. And all the way down on the end is Jason Fisher from Epitaph Records. So, gentlemen, is there anything in particular you would like to hit first?
Nothing in particular.
Nothing in particular.
No, I actually you kind of gave a good introduction. I wanted to go down the line and in 90 seconds or less sort of hit everyone up in their specific qualifications and skill set and core competency, etc.
That's perfect, and I'm going to say that we're going to do the traditional Q&A, which is if you have questions once he's done with the introductions, just go ahead and line up at the microphone back there by the stand, and everybody will be happy to accommodate you. Thank you so much for coming out. Matt?
Right, well, thank you. First and foremost, what I was hoping, and I kind of talked to the guys about this ahead of time, rather than talking about social media in the abstract, which I think we all know what it means, what it is, we're hoping to be able to give you some actual practical application of social media to further your art, promote what you're doing, your music, and everybody here has a different sort of skill set that will enable you guys, I think, to learn a thing or two in regards to using social publishing in order to propagate your beautiful music throughout the. I'm assuming we're all musicians, right? Somebody else. I don't want to leave anybody out if you're looking for something else out of this panel. My name is Matt Diablo. I work at Slacker.com. It's a digital music and personalized radio startup in Rancho Bernardo, and I'm part of the team that has been developing the social media strategy for Slacker, which will be rolling out soon. I work for another company that helps old media organizations integrate new media into what they do and help them develop their web and social media strategies. And then, of course, I also work at 91X. Dave Brown, Holiday Matinee. You want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hey, what's up? My name is Dave. I run a company for the last 10 years called Holiday Matinee. It's been a lot of things. Started in my bedroom, and now we actually have an office. So we've come pretty far. And yeah, I've done.
You put out really great compilation CDs.
Put out compilation CDs. I have a record label with a partner in LA called Better Looking Records. We've put out a lot of records over the years. I license music to TV and film. And Holiday Matinee these days is really all about kind of a creative think tank. We do a lot of branding for startups and work with artists, musicians, companies, anyone that's really interested in creativity and embracing emerging technology, which is what we're going to be talking a lot about today. So I really find it very meaningful to connect with people who really go after what they believe in, and you know, it's something that I don't take lightly. So I'm really happy to be here.
You want to throw a plug in real quick for your Cause for Drinks?
Sure. I would like to invite
social element to it.
Everybody here. Here's my shameless plug. This a week from this Wednesday, on the August 19th, Holiday Matinee is having a 10-year anniversary party on the rooftop beach of the W Hotel. It's absolutely free, and we're going to donate 25% of all food and beverages of the night to Tom Shoes charity arm. It's called Friends of Tom's. Their shoe company that donates shoes to help kids that are in need in different developed countries, underdeveloped countries. So I encourage you all to come out and hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool, and then Rob Marlborough, better known as Downtown Rob. One of the points that I'm hoping to hit on here is being ubiquitous, being available to your potential listeners, customers on every possible platform And Downtown Rob is ubiquitous in San Diego. He is literally everywhere. So tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so I started out in technology doing web stuff about 12 years ago, doing Web Wizards. And then more recently, getting more into the WordPress, and then in the probably last year or so, getting real heavy into social media. And happened to live downtown, so my name became Downtown Rob, and then that persona became self-fulfilling, let's say. And now I do a lot of downtown promotional stuff, and real big on Twitter promotions and that kind of stuff, so I'm getting more into the social media branding and exposure, event and venue promotions and that kind of stuff, and becoming more social media niched in that way. So,
and we'll talk a little bit more, hopefully, about that, as well as really determining, not to take the romance out of creating music, but to really determine sort of what your brand is, and how to further propagate that brand via social publishing. And then I'm sorry, because I just met you, Paul Josephson.
Got it.
Paul Josephson from Eventful.com, which is, and you can probably correct me on this, but it's like an interactive database of events with a social component, and it's very mash-upable as well, so you can see it integrated with your Last.fm or your iTunes account, a lot of different things as well.
Right, so I'm the Director of Artist Relations for Eventful.com. The parent company is Eventful Incorporated, and we're the world's largest events website. So people come to us, see what's happening in their city, set different events as favorites, and are notified via email what's happening in their city with the ability to purchase tickets. As artists, we have a demand service, and I'm sure many of you have probably seen it across MySpace or Facebook, that allows your fans to demand you in a certain city, and you get the metrics on where you're most in demand and can creatively route your tours based on that information.
One of the things we were talking about is, it's completely conceivable that in the future, routing your tours, depending on where you're going to go play, where you're going to go, could be dictated, literally crowdsourced, dictated by the social via a service like Eventful. So it's very cool. Thank you. And then Chris Cantori, you are a man of many different talents, and most recently working with Street Scene, right?
Yeah. I have about 15 plus years of traditional media experience here in San Diego. And as of the last 3 or so months, started my own social media, new media agency here in town, and Street Scene is one of the 5 current clients that I'm working with right now. Also have a new media project that we launched by the name of The Green Room as well.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
It's a music show. Obviously working here in traditional media. I did 11 years at 91X and spent some time at KFMB locally as well. And just found a need and a niche for covering certain music here in town. And there's obviously a wonderful scene here in San Diego, and wanted to make sure that it was getting represented, so we kind of put together a little team and formed a little new media project. We've locked local distribution. That'll be getting out here in about a month, and national by November. And
it's conceivable that some of these local musicians may be featured on that at some point?
Absolutely, especially the venues. We're working a lot of deals with the venues in town, so we have the rights to go in and shoot and get kind of a back scene, behind the scenes perspective from what goes in from load in to load out, including performance and interviews.
Cool, thank you, Chris. And then Jason Fisher is the director of new media for Epitaph Records in Los Angeles. And what does that entail exactly?
So I basically run the new media department for Epitaph, Anti, and Hellcat Records. Epitaph's artists like Bad Religion, Rancid, Story of the Year, Newfound Glory. Anti's like Tom Waits, Nico Case, more of like an NPR, Huffington Post kind of crowd. And then Hellcat's kind of like a street punk label with like artists like Tiger Army, Dropkick Murphys, things like that. So yeah, so that's what I do. Very
cool. Well, obviously I think the Q&A is going to be exceptionally important in this particular panel, because you've got a lot of pretty talented dudes up here that you may have some questions. And like I said, what I'm looking hopefully from all of us is to be able to cite individual and specific applications of social publishing, as opposed to just talking about it in the abstract. But before we do that,